To Mama Kena and the Kgoroeadira family, distinguished guests, it is a singular honor to be with you today to celebrate her life like no other. To the family, we thank you for sharing Papa Tommy Kgoroeadira with us. It is hard to eulogize Papa Tommy. Born in 1948, the same year the policy of apartheid, you can call it apartness or separateness, adopted. That is the year when National Party took power in South Africa. Papa Tommy became an active member of SASO, which is a subsidiary of Pan-Africa. Papa Tommy married Mama Kena in the 1970s. The same period, more than 3 million people in South Africa, or Muzansi, were forcibly resettled in black homelands. And because of this, Papa Tommy and Mama Kena delayed their marriage celebrations for 2 years. Partly because it was not safe to celebrate under those circumstances. But to a greater extent, because they did not want to celebrate in solidarity with their kith and kin who are fighting unjust laws. They chose to stand in solidarity with fellow South African brothers and sisters under the yoke of apartheid. By not celebrating their marriage for 2 years, that alone shows Mama Kena and Papa Tommy's largeness of spirit and their potent contribution in the fight to the claims of the oppressed and the moral necessity of racial justice. Like Steve Biko, the founding leader of SASO, he had a strong desire to fight the apartheid system, a system that imprisoned his people. That is how Papa Tommy became a SASO and a Pan-Africanist. He was given the gift of time that Steve Biko was not, and he used that gift to touch as many lives and right as many wrongs as the years would allow. You know, I got to know Papa Tommy through Baba Buntu. We are organizing for the Samo experience in Uganda. Baba Buntu warned me beforehand that the family I am meeting has a stubborn rebelliousness in seeking answers. Indeed, that was evidenced a few minutes after I'd picked Papa Tommy, Makena, Mamati, and Siabonga Lembede from Entebbe International Airport in Kampala, Uganda. I received a pretty good number of questions in a few minutes from each of those members of the family. In 1 minute, I was responding to what the name of the place we had just reached was, and the next minute, I was answering what the meaning of the name was. The next second, I would be answering a question as to why they chose to name the place such a name. So, yeah, they would ask, tell us, why did they give such a name to such a place? Just before I could compose myself well enough, another question came in asking why I had not bothered to find out the meaning of a name in a town which I had known for more than 10 years. Baba Buntu was flying in from Norway, wasn't with us at the time, and I felt like texting Baba to ask why he didn't warn me well enough that the Pan-Africanists I was linking up with are some of the most practical Pan-Africanists there are. But that initial meeting alone woke something in me. It got me wondering whether I'm practical with my Pan-Africanism, and if I am, whether I'm practical well enough. Papa Tommy and the rest of us in the family went on to meet several Pan-Africanists, among them the then Second Deputy Prime Minister of Uganda and Minister for East African Affairs, Alhaji Ali Chirunda Chibejinja, normally known as KK, former mayor for Kampala and independent presidential candidate in the 2006 general election, Nasantege Sewagala, Professor Juma Waswa Balunya, Vice Chancellor, Mokgele University Business School, Vice Chancellor and some of the founding professors of Marcus Garvey University, often referred to as the Pan-African University, and the Uganda Kingdom leadership at the palace and the Uganda Parliament. The time I stayed with Papa Tommy and the rest of the family profoundly shaped the way I now look at Pan-Africanism. Like Baba Buntu always insists, that our Pan-Africanism is only Pan-Africanism when we are practical with it. That was the sweep of Papa Tommy's life, not anywhere measurable to the scope of his accomplishments. He was so full of good humor. After visiting the source of the Nile, while having lunch at a restaurant, he made me laugh to the point that tears were running down my eyes and I could not eat no more. In all the Shabaka sessions that we went to and the forums that we held, we learned so much from Papa Tommy. In the arc of his life, we see a man who loved his family, groomed them well, and treasured humanity as a whole in the spirit of Ubuntu. You are cause I am, the spirit of humanity. And he passed on that sense of service, responsibility, and selflessness to his children. It is because of this that he walked his 2 daughters down the aisle and married off his son. It is because of this love he showed all, this love that can be best explained by his grandchildren, who cannot take or believe that he is gone. They are crying every day because he was not just their granddad, he was their friend. Papa Tommy understood the ties that bind the human spirit. That is a word in South Africa. And yes, indeed all across Africa and the African people across the globe. Ubuntu, a word that captures Papa Tommy's greatest gift, his recognition that we are all bound together in ways that are invisible to the eye, that there is a oneness to humanity, that we achieve ourselves by sharing ourselves with others and caring for those around us. Taking a trip across Africa for the Umsamo experience, that revealed the depth of his empathy and his understanding. He not only embodied Ubuntu, he taught many to find that truth within themselves. Not only did the Kgoroeadira family make it because of Thomas's love, he made it because of theirs. Especially because of the love and the life and the care he found in Mama Kena. She gave him strength and purpose, joy and friendship, and stood by him always. And this I evidenced firsthand during my stay with them at the Umsamo experience. We cannot know for certain how long we have here. We cannot foresee the trials or misfortunes that will test us along the way. We cannot know what God's plan is for us. All we have in our power is to live out our lives as best as we can with purpose and with love and with joy. We can use each day to show those who are closest to us how much we care about them and treat others with the kindness and respect that we wish for ourselves. We can learn from our mistakes and grow from our failures. We can strive at all costs to make a better world so that someday, if we are blessed with the chance to look back on our time here, we know that we spent it well, that we made a difference, that our fleeting presence had a lasting impact on the lives of others. This is how Thomas Samuel Mokgele Kgoroeadira lived. This is his legacy, now that Papa Tommy is gone home, leaving those of us who grieve his passing with the memories he gave, the good that he did, the dreams he kept alive. Let's apply the things we learned from him in our lives. For the Kgoroeadira family, for those he inspired, Papa Tommy's passing is rightly a time of mourning and a time to celebrate a heroic life. But I believe it should also prompt in each of us a time for self-reflection, with honesty, regardless of our station or circumstance. you must ask, how well have I applied these lessons in my own life? Papa Tommy's works should stir us something in each one of us. It should wake us up to our responsibilities, to others, and to ourselves, and make us want to be better people. Papa Tommy was such a magnificent soul. We'll miss him deeply. May God bless the memory of Tom Kgoroeadira. May God bless you all.